snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles, touchdown.
Here he goes. It's Hester. Inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown.
Fields stumbling, trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
Hurts on first down, fires downfield. It's Deshaun Jackson back in the lineup. Missed the last 7 games, and he will take it 81 yards. A somersault into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season.
You're listening to The Pigskin Project, the world's #1 football podcast. Now, with more insights on all things football, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen and Ryan Matthews. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I apologize because I did not let anybody know that we were going to be delaying the podcast, to one day. It was my fault. I will say, I definitely needed a little bit of a break. I had a pretty long couple days, I will say. Holy cow, lots of training. I was about an hour and a half away from home, so bless you.
Thank you.
There's a lot of stuff that I had to do, but there is a lot of stuff that we have to cover in this episode. We are right in the depths of the offseason, so we are getting it started with our schedule predictions today. If you're a Colts fan or a Jaguars fan, you're going to love this episode because we're talking about your teams today.
Jaguars fan, you might want to plug your ears when we talk about your team, to be frank.
We'll get there. But Ben, first off, how you doing, buddy?
Guys, I'm exhausted. I'm working like 60 hours a week. I'm working out in the sun, if you guys can't tell by these amazing tan lines. Quite tired, to be frank, but it's good. Pulling in all that cash money and I'm living life. That's what we're doing. How you feeling? Tell the wonderful people at the Pigskin Project what you were doing the last couple of days.
Yeah, so I started a new job just last week last month to where yeah. So they've got a certain procedure for training that basically requires me to go out of town for a little bit and an all paid for trip by the company. I don't want to say who I represent and whatsoever, so that's why I'm kind of keeping it anonymous. But we go over there and basically it's just extended training on sales. And so it's how to do that. There's what to do in certain situations that may be dangerous. You can use your imagination as to what those might be in a sales, in a retail position. So there's that. Different ways to kind of move up in the company. I think that there's a lot of potential for me to kind of get promotions and get them quick too, which is very exciting. I definitely think that there's a lot of potential for me going into this company and kind of making a little bit of noise. I know you guys can't see it, but there's a whiteboard right here. And basically out of the next week, I'm working literally every single day. So the next, because our work weeks start on Sunday, like a normal business and not food. So, right after this trip, this is technically my day off, despite the fact I had a half day for training. So I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then I'm off again on Thursday. So it's going to be one heck of a grind. But the thing is, so luckily, I'm going to be able to make a pretty decent amount of money within that time gap. And I get my first commission check next week. So yeah, I'm excited, man. There's lots of opportunities, and hopefully sometime soon you're gonna see this background change a little bit because I want my own spot. This is, I moved out of my parents' place and everything a year ago, and that was the goal, was to move out, but I want entirely fresh starts. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at. But nonetheless, I think it's time to get into football. How about that, huh?
Ryan and Ben bring you weekly news.
Not a lot to talk about at all. I actually only have 2 points. Ben, I told you that I had 3, but there's only 2.
Yeah, you lied.
This one we've been waiting on for what, like 4 years now? Well, I guess we could say 10. EA College Football 25. The official release date is July 19th. You can pre-order it now on I'm pretty sure any platform. I don't really know if PC.
I don't think it's on PC.
But you could get on consoles, which is very exciting for the two of us. Lots of fun will be had, and lots of hours will be spent on this game. So, you know, this is going to be a nice way to kind of sit back and relax and just kind of, you know, chill, because there's so many modes that we're excited for. You're probably going to hear us talk a lot about it. And I will say this.
Y'all, I'm so pumped.
I will say this. For somebody who's going to try to get into college football a little bit more this season, to, you know, just kind of keep up with both. I wanted to say leagues. Is that the right term?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
This is a great way to kind of get introduced to it, in my opinion, and to kind of keep up with it a little bit, and to familiarize myself with a couple fan bases and you know, stadiums and stuff like that, and how it works as well. There's the potential to, you know what I mean, go ahead and run your own not organization, but you know, team, stuff like that, school, and you know how you want your team ran. And I mean, the potential for this game is through the roof, and things that we've seen so far is just stunning. The way that they've been doing it, it might be worth the 10-year wait. What do you think, buddy?
No, I mean, I don't think that. I would be very, very shocked if I said this is worth the 10-year wait, because, guys, this was, you know, this was part of my childhood. It's a game that I had played like a whole lot growing up. I absolutely love the game. I remember Tim Tebow being on the cover of I think it was 11. It was I absolutely loved the game. I'm so excited for it. And I don't know if like they could do this, and I don't know if there's like, I haven't read much about the features and whatnot, but like it would be really, really cool, because I know within the deluxe edition you like spend the $150, you get like all the stuff it comes with, but then you also get the game, the NCAA football game, and then you also are going to get the Madden that comes out. Yeah. It would be super cool if you could like have your college player.
Oh, that's
and work your way through. Oh, so you can work your way through the college and then connect it to Madden, and then have that player go to the NFL and play Madden.
Yes, it's called Road to Glory. So you know, it's the same mode or name for the mode for the old games.
Yes,
to where it's like a career mode. You can go through and everything like that. Progress. You start in high school. You work your way up to college, and then you can link it to Madden and continue your growth through the pros. So EA's killing it, man. I'm telling you, that's something that was early in development that they wanted to kind of emphasize on. They loved the idea for it, and I'm just
we're
so excited.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is there any other modes that you might be excited about other than, you know, the two that we touched on briefly?
I mean, Road to Glory and Dynasty, I mean, are the two, like, the two big ones. I mean, that's the one. Like, I'm ready to turn, like, we had joked about it within our group chat. I'm ready to turn, like, FIU into, like, an absolute powerhouse. It's going to be great. FIU and, like, Coastal Carolina. And, yeah, exactly. Sam Houston, and it's going to be fantastic. I'm ready to just turn but what will suck for those who like aren't super like following the news, not all of the FCS schools are going to be in there. So that FBS is like your Power 5, well, I guess now Power 4, and then like your lower conferences and whatnot. But some like the FCS schools, like North Dakota and stuff, they're not going to be in the game right away. Their whole goal is to eventually get like all of those teams in the game, but they are not in it right away, which kind of sucks. But oh well, you know, you gotta be patient.
So there's that. I'm very excited about it, as I know you are. Whoops, there we go. And then nonetheless, just one more topic that we have to talk about. My brain's kind of working or not working. So, just saying, I might say some stuff that I mean. Anywho, former Dolphin, Patriot, current Eagles wide receiver. I guess I should say former Eagles wide receiver Devontae Parker's retired from the NFL as well. Is there anything you have to say about that? Because that's really the only reason why I put it in. I know that he's, he had a pretty decent career. So, congratulations to him and being able to retire. It's a true privilege, but, best of luck to him and whatever his next chapter is. But, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was. And for the Eagles, it was like a conditional thing that like you had to play a certain number of snaps and whatnot. So like, we basically get our pick back that we had set for him. So like, I'm not super worried, but like that was a conversation as well that we had with like within our group chat is like how you define like the Devontae Parker like career arc. Cause he's not quite like a bust. Like he's not like, you're not like, holy cow, this guy flamed out, was trash, but he definitely wasn't worth the 14th overall pick. So, like, I don't know how you define disappointment or whatnot, I guess is probably how I describe it. But at the end of the day, he still made millions and millions of dollars and played in the, in the NFL for however many years, like 8 years or something like that. So, I mean, how much of a disappointment is that actually? But in terms of his draft stock, I would say his career was a little bit of a disappointment. But, again, excited to see whatever he ends up doing. Again, his the stuff he had sent out, he just said he's excited to just spend more time with his family and whatnot. So good for him. And, it was, I can never knock a guy for wanting to spend more time with his family. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Guys, we're bringing back an old segment. It's time.
yes.
You think you know football? Well, prove it. This is Pigskin Pick'em.
Let's go. We're starting off with the Colts. Ben, very, very excited about this team. But tough schedules for these two teams that we're previewing today. Let's go ahead and start with the Colts. Ben, they start off their season at home against the Texans. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so doing this exercise, it actually made me, I'm not like high on the Colts by any means, but like I had joked on last year's pod that like they're my Colts. And like for the first time in forever, that bit's gonna continue into this year. I as fun as it would be for them to beat the Texans, I mean, we do have to be realistic on this show. Might get out of control in the next segment, but that's besides the point. I have the Texans winning this first one.
Yeah. I as well have the Texans winning, so they will start 0-1 at least. Now they go all the way out to Lambeau, play the Packers. Ben, what are you thinking?
Yes, again, I think they're gonna have a slow start to the season, as as much as I would have liked to say they beat the Packers, and I'm sure you would like to have them beat the Packers as well. They're not. The Packers are gonna win. The Packers are gonna be a good team. Now, I think the Packers might be a little overhyped, but they're
gonna be
so
good.
Yeah, they're still a good team. So I'm gonna have them I'm gonna have them the Packers win.
The NFC North is going to be a lot of fun this year. Just keep it at that. I also have them losing to the Packers, so they're starting 0-2. Buddy, you're going to be at this game, I think, at home against the Bears. What are you thinking?
Yes, that's a plan. The plan is for me to be at this game, but I hate to break it to you, pal. We had our conversation about the Bears schedule in last week's pod, if you guys listened to that. And I had voiced that this might be a game that we or that the Bears fans might overlook or look past. I think the Colts are going to win this one. And not to make this about the Bears, because Lord knows we talk enough about the Bears in this podcast. I don't know. Reports are Caleb Williams didn't look too hot playing up against that first team defense today. That's besides the point. It's his first OTA. I mean, he's a rookie. You can't expect much. You can't expect much. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to give you.
I mean,
But
if we're gonna talk
I do
about
have the
that,
Colts winning. I do have the Colts winning.
JJ McCarthy's looked awful all
Yeah,
offseason.
no, he's looked bad. I'm not surprised.
I mean, his scouting combine wasn't all that impressive. Now he's not looking all that great in OTAs. You know,
I'm not surprised.
hey, I said it as well, and I don't remember your take on JJ McCarthy, but I never really understood why people hyped him up in the first
With the
round as far as the
potential.
top 15. Yeah, I don't get it. But anyways, obviously I'm having the Bears win this. I mean, come on. I listen.
I mean,
Here's
at
the
this
thing.
point, you kind of have to, right? Like, if you didn't, you'd be a fake Bears fan.
Well, here's the thing. The Bears would lose this game, right? Like they would.
Like a scheduled loss.
I hope that this is competitive though. But the thing is I really don't think it will be. I'm not a fan of the Colts defense at all. That's really the only clear thing that I really don't like about this Colts defense or the Colts team at all. It's just their defense. Their secondary sucks. I mean, it's not a good spot to be in for the Colts. Looking at it right now, I mean, Juju Brents, Julian Blackmon, Nick Cross, and Kenny Moore are your starters for your secondary.
I like Kenny Moore first off. I think Kenny Moore is one of the best all around corners in the entire league. I mean, that's why he got paid like that, the way he did this offseason. And I was a fan of Nick Cross coming out, but at the end of the day, I mean, he's still a young player. I don't know what you can expect from him.
When it boils down to it, I'm taking team versus team, position versus position. The Bears clear the board when it comes down to it. So,
I don't know. I've said it. I've said it before. Maybe not on this podcast, but definitely on Twitter. That like as fun as Caleb it can be, and I think Caleb's gonna have a good rookie season. It's always going to take time. I mean, it even took CJ Stroud a couple of games. And I think that's the killer. Like, it's just so hard to even know how, like, a rookie QB is going to come and adjust to the next level. And that's the only thing that is really holding me back. But he has no excuse to not be good. Let's throw that out there as well. But that's besides the point. Again, we have
the final
season to talk about the Bears. So,
final point I'm going to make just because of that is the Bears play the Texans week 2. And they're not going to win that game. So going into the Colts game, correct me if I'm wrong, the Colts are on a whole different level in a worse way compared to the Texans. They're on a different side of a rebuild. So to me, I think that the Bears are going to come out slinging the ball, and that's why. But the next week against the Steelers, still at home, what are you thinking?
I have them beating the Steelers. I mean, I have no hope for the Steelers at all. But to really quick to inject myself in the last point, I do think the Texans are definitely the better team. But I mean, the Colts only won one less game than them last year, so I don't think they're I don't think they're as far behind as what just like nationally people want to give them credit for. That's besides the point. I have them beating the Steelers. I have no hope for the Steelers. For those who have watched this podcast and have been listening for a long time, this is going to be a really hard statement for me to say because it's Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin has never won or has never not had a winning season. The Steelers are going to beat my Cardinals. The Steelers are going to beat my Cardinals. And yeah, it's going to change. The Colts are going to win.
Yeah. I also have them beating the Steelers. Now next week, at the Jaguars, what are you thinking?
I think they're a better team than the Jaguars, but again, I think they're going to lose to the Jaguars.
Okay, I have them beating the Jaguars. I actually, spoiler alert, I'm going to have them sweep the Jaguars this season.
Wow.
So
I have it the other way around. Spoiler alert. And to be frank, and we'll run through everything, and I did not do this on purpose, guys. I have the away team winning like the rest of the season, which is funny that like it's the way it worked out. Like I had just went through and I had picked the team I had thought was gonna win, and it just so happened to be the away team. But But we will go through and everything. But yes, I have the Jags beating them. At this point in time, it just comes down to AR versus Trevor. And people want to slander Trevor Lawrence and whatnot. I don't think he's as bad as what people are making him out to be. But we'll talk about the Jags in the next segment, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'll hold my thoughts on that for a little bit.
Next week at Titans. So you're having the Colts win. I'm just gonna have you just still state it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll say them all, but yes, I have the Colts winning.
I have the Colts losing at Titans. Like I said, I'm not impressed with the secondary, and I think they're going to split with the
Who's throwing the
Titans.
football? I mean, I was a Will Levis guy, but I have to see it first from Will Levis, and they lost their focal point of their offense this past year in Derrick Henry.
Yeah. It'll be interesting
so
for sure.
I have to see it with the Titans first, but yes.
I believe Tony Pollard plays for them now, right? So that'll be
Tony Pollard, but which also side tangent. We'll get into the Titans next week. I kind of like Tajay Spears. Like, I don't know why they had went out and like. I was kind of hoping that they were just gonna like have it be the Tajay Spears show, but that's besides the point.
And the fact that man, what's his name? Treylon Burks taking a backseat too a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I would have liked to see him get developed a little bit better, but it is what it is. Versus Dolphins. I think this one's clear. I think we should both have them leave. Yeah, or lose. Yeah. At Texans, I have them losing again.
I actually have them beating the Texans. Like I said, I think this Colts team's closer to the Texans than what people want to give them credit nationally wise. Again, they lost one extra game than what they did, given the Texans had a better offseason than the Colts did. I mean, no one would argue that. But I think this team is closer to, again, the Texans in that, and I think most of that hinges on my opinion on AR. I think AR can come in and do something really, really special in year two. And I think at this point in the season, the Texans are probably going to be riding pretty high and mighty. And, you never know what these games are going to look like in division. So I'm going to have the Colts shock the world. Shock the world before the world shocks you, Mike Jones. Colts are going to win.
Next week at Vikings. I have no idea why this Vikings team has the hype that they do. We'll dive into that a little bit more.
Yes.
I'm having the Colts beat the Vikings again. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I have them beating the Vikings. We had I'll save my Vikings thoughts for when it's time to talk about the Vikings, but it comes back to who's playing quarterback, and I like JJ, but we'll see.
I really
that's what I'll say.
weapons.
We'll see.
I like the weapons on offense. Justin Jefferson.
I mean, they have some of the best weapons in the entire. I mean, like, let's be honest. They might have. I don't want to say they have some.
They
of
have
the best
Dan
weapons.
Feeney on their team. I just realized that. That's funny.
Yeah, but they do have a good offensive line. They have two young. I would say the best wide receiver in the NFL, and then a really good young number 2 wide receiver in the NFL. They have one of the best pass catching and all around tight ends in the NFL. I think their offensive line is better than what people want to give them credit for. The only 2 question marks they have there now is going to be running back, and then more importantly, the quarterback position. I had said it before. I think the plan with JJ is to have him at least sit and develop for a little bit. And if that's the plan, I have no trust in Sam Darnold. I mean, we know who Sam Darnold is at this point in his career. So,
yeah. Like I said, or like he said, we'll get to the Vikings, but
yes.
I do have the Colts beating the Vikings as well. Versus Bills at home. This one's going to be a lot closer than what people think, I believe, personally.
Yes.
What do you think?
No, I think it'll be a closer game, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's Josh Allen. I know this is like their retooling year for the Bills. But Josh Allen is just going to do what Josh Allen does, and he's going to tear up the regular season and then choke a little bit in the playoffs. That's besides the point. I think it's going to be closer than what people think, but at the end of the day, I do think the Bills are going to pull away.
Yeah, me too. Very excited about Keon Coleman. I'm excited to see how he develops with the Bills and Josh Allen altogether. Because when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, it definitely helps.
Yes.
So yeah, like I said, it's gonna be close. I really do think so. But yeah, give me the Bills at Jets. This one's tough. I mean, it's MetLife, so it's bound to be, right?
Yeah, it's MetLife. The Jets are one of the biggest wild card teams in the entire NFL for me. They looked awful last year, but they also had awful quarterback play last year. And it really, again, it comes back to that quarterback play and how well Aaron Rodgers is going to do. I'm going to have the Colts win this one, though. I know a lot of people
Nice.
are going to disagree with that, but I'm going to have the Colts take it away. And part of that is also just because I don't like Aaron Rodgers. And either it's a 50-50 toss-up, and I'm going to go with the team that I have a bias towards a little bit more. So Colts are going to win.
I am also not an Aaron Rodgers guy. However, I will have the Jets win this game. I just being honest with myself. So it is what it is. Bless you. Versus there we go.
Good.
At home against the Lions. I think this one should be an L, right?
Yes, yeah. No, the Lions are gonna take this one. And I apologize for this easy, guys. I work outside. My
shame on you.
My allergies are awful. That's besides the point. And it's again, we've had this conversation before on the podcast, but I can go the entire day without sneezing, and as soon as you put this microphone and the camera in front of me, it's over. But that's besides the point.
I have the Colts winning out after this point. Patriots, Broncos, Titans, Giants, Jaguars. Give me the Colts in all of these games.
Wow. Okay, so I have them beating the Patriots and the Broncos. I have them losing to the Titans. I have them beating the Giants, but like I said, I have them losing to the Jags. I have them finishing the season at 10-7. I really wanted them to beat the Jags in Week 17, but like looking at the record, I'm like the Colts are not an 11-6 team. They're just not there yet. And 10-7 seems even a little steep for them. But I had to find a loss somewhere in there because they're not 11-6. So I just did have to have them losing that Jag game, even though I think they're probably going to beat the Jags in Week 7 or I guess Week 18. But I have them finishing 10-7. So
I have them finishing 8-9 on the year. So
okay, we're not too far off.
Yeah, I don't think that either one of them are too outlandish. I think that this is, a doable thing, and I really think that it's because of strength of schedule. Sorry for just sucker punching my microphone. So that's where we're at. Looking at the Jaguars now, the starting off the season with the Dolphins. What are you thinking?
They're losing. They're going to lose to the Dolphins. I think the Jaguars are given. I don't think the Jaguars, and we'll get to it as we go through. I think the Jaguars are going to be better than what their record says that they are, but I just think they have a tough schedule, and it's the way it's going to work out for them this year, and it sucks. But I to be frank, I have them losing the first 4 games, but I have them losing to the Dolphins in Week 1.
I have them losing to the Dolphins and Browns. I have them beating the Bills. Let's see. You said you had them losing the first 4, right?
Yep. So I have them losing to the Dolphins, losing to the Browns, losing to the Bills, and then losing to the Texans.
Yeah, I have the same thing except for the Bills game. I think that the Bills game is going to be the classic Josh Allen slip up, rookie wide receiver, some kind of thing to where it's like this game should have been won by the Bills, but it wasn't. Classic Buffalo, right? So starting off 1-3, but you have them 0-4.
Yeah.
Next week at home against the Colts. I had them losing. You had them winning.
Yes, they get their first victory of the season.
Going into London against the Bears. They're 1-4. Can you give me something here, please?
Yes, I'll give it to you here.
Thank
I
you.
think no.
Dude, why?
Hold on. No. All right. No. I do. I am.
I'm telling you,
at this
the amount
point,
of times
point in
God.
the season, I think that you guys I think Caleb has probably settled in at least enough by week, what is it, 6? I think it'll be fine, and I think I just think you guys have too much weapons on offense, and it's just going to overwhelm that secondary of the Jags. And I think you guys are going to win.
I mean,
So right
okay.
now, through the first 6 games of the season, they are 1-5.
Can we?
I think
okay.
at this point, by the way, Doug Peterson is probably fired, and interim head coach is probably taking over.
So I just want to say this, right? Trevor Lawrence has not had under 4,000 yards in a season so far, right? Congratulations, huge feat. 2 years, right? So that's I mean, that's what it says, right? Maybe I was wrong. Hold on, because I'm only seeing. Oh, I'm definitely wrong. Yes.
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna say Trevor Lawrence
dude,
has played. Yeah,
if you look up Trevor Lawrence stats on Google, it only shows 2022 and 2023 for some reason.
that's weird. Mine showing 2021 as well. But
Yeah. Anyways, so okay, so I'm seeing this now. He's only had one season under, and it was not very far off, right? Trevor
yeah.
Lawrence, great job, dude. That's awesome. However, last
people want to
season,
poop on Trevor Lawrence, dude. Like,
let me just say
don't
this.
get it. He's yep.
Let me just say this. I feel like despite the fact he was a 4,000 yard passer, which is always impressive, I feel like he was still underwhelming in the touchdowns to interception ratio and stuff. I feel like there was something about last season, to me at least, that just wasn't. It wasn't like when you watch Trevor Lawrence, you're not thinking this is a 4,000 yard passer. The way that he was playing, I didn't think of that as him. I thought, wow, like, okay, like what's going on here? He's not playing like himself type deal, right? There's so many there's so many articles that I've read where the Bears are losing to the Jaguars in London. I understand London loves their Jaguars for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but
It's
like
because they just played there so much.
I just don't understand the huge appeal in the Jaguars here in such massive, like, oh man, Bears are losing this game. I don't get it. I don't. I'm sorry. So when you caught me a little off guard by saying, like, oh man, I'm going to have the Jaguars beat them here. Oh, wait, never mind. No, I'm not. It's like, I get it. Like, thank you for giving me a bone here because this is something I needed. But it's like, dude, the amount of times I've seen people actually say that, I don't get it at all, and I don't agree with it. Bears are taking this one. Whether it's going to be close or not doesn't matter. Bears are going to win this game. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah,
It's
Caleb's
going to look
the
awesome
Bears
here.
The Bears are definitely going to win this game, but to add some context for our viewers, again, this is we've tried to talk about all the NFL teams, but due to Ryan's allegiance to his awful team, we end up talking about the Bears quite often on this podcast. For those who are new, the Bears have never had a 4,000 yard passer, like in the history of their franchise. So just to throw that out there, but no, I think Trevor Lawrence gets pooped on too much, and not because. Like, he just hasn't been surrounded with the best supporting cast, given that they've tried. I mean, his running backs have been there, and they tried to do it with Calvin and everything. They tried to do it with Calvin. It didn't work out. He just has never had, like, that guy. They're hoping that Brian Thomas turns into that guy. But I think he's always done more than – golly. He's always done more than like what's expected of him outside of that first year. Like, there are not many guys that are going to succeed in like as much as he has in the situation that he's been put in. I think he gets pooped on a little bit too much. I do think he's going to be a good quarterback. Again, we had talked about him like maybe being a MVP dark horse going into last year. Obviously, that did not turn out as we all would have hoped. But I think he's a good quarterback.
I think, yeah, he's a fine quarterback. I think what I was getting at was just
not you specific. Yeah, I'm not trying to come at you specific.
No. I'm just covering my bases in saying like it. There was a part of me that was a little let down. I get that there was 4,000 yards there. That's cool, but it's just
generational.
it just it felt like a down year, right? Maybe it's just
Yes,
not
it
me.
did.
I
I
don't know.
mean, it did. He
21
had
and
like a
14,
3-2 interception or touchdown interception.
yeah,
His QBR was like
88.
pretty much dead middle of the pack at 17th. He barely got to 4,000 yards. I mean, I
He
I
just
agree
fell
with
through the
you.
cracks, you know.
Yeah.
It's not that he's bad, but it just kind of sucked last year. Like I in this wide receiver
Yeah.
core right now, doesn't
Yes.
really look like he's primed for anything different right now. So it's like kind of unfortunate. So if you're a Jaguars fan, it's a little bit of a preview as to what to expect for the rest of this. But we're going into a home game against the Patriots here. I have them winning. I actually think, is this a Germany game? Am I wrong here?
I would be very surprised if it was a Germany game if they have them going from London to Germany.
I'm gonna check.
But we're both in agreement. The Jags are
It is.
game though. That's wild. So they're probably just gonna stay over there. They're not coming home. It doesn't make sense for them to come home at that point.
Wait, hold on a minute. Dude, this is crazy. Hold on a minute. Is this? No, that's 2023. Sorry, hold on. Jeez Louise, man. I am making okay, there we go. All right. So sorry. Here, okay. Yeah, London, and then nope, it's still in London. I'm sorry. The Germany game is Giants and Panthers. So
I was gonna
yes,
say I'd be
this one's in
real
London.
surprised if they had them play back-to-back Europe games.
Are you having them beat the Patriots or are you having them lose? I
No,
was not paying
they're
attention.
beating the Patriots. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. This one's at home against the Packers. So they're actually at home here. But I'm taking the Packers here.
As am I.
They're playing in Philly. Doug Peterson making his return. Philly
Peterson
should
will
mop
not
the floor
be
with them.
making his return. Yes, Philly should mop the floor with him, but Doug Peterson will not be making his return. He's going to be gone at this point in the season. Yes. Yeah. Oh,
2
for
wins.
sure. After that awful start, after going 1-5, I think he's going to be fired.
Not
yeah,
good.
I have the Eagles winning this one pretty handedly.
Versus Vikings. So at home here, I have them beating the Vikings.
As do I.
In Detroit against the Lions, I have them losing.
Yep.
At home against the Texans, I have them losing.
Yep.
In Tennessee against the Titans, I have them winning.
Yes.
In New York against the Jets, I have them losing.
I actually have the Jags winning this one.
Okay.
Yes.
In Vegas against the Raiders, I have them winning.
Yep.
At home against the Titans, I have them winning.
Yes.
And then I had them lose against the Colts, but you had them winning here. So what is your final record here? Because I had them at 6-11.
Yeah, see, we're one game off each other. I'm going 7-10. Again, I think they're probably better than the 7-10 record implies. It just happens that they play like a pretty rough schedule. They play the Dolphins, they play the Texans, they play the Packers, they play the Eagles, they play the Lions. They just have a depending on what your opinion is on the Browns and whatnot. I just think they have a tougher schedule, and we'll see how they handle it. But it's hard for me to see them win anything more than 9 games this season.
Yeah. Nah, man, I get you for sure. Well, this next one, this is my top 15 wide receivers. Let me change.
I will be doing my top 15 next week, though. For those who are listening and wondering where my top 15 is, we're starved for content. I'm just kidding, but I'm doing my top 15 next week.
So with this, I feel like there's a pretty solid. Here's the thing. We were talking about it briefly, and it was kind of, I don't want to say heated, but it was a passionate conversation to where both of us were like, listen, this guy should be on there, but it's there's only 15 spots to fill. There's arguments to be made for a lot of guys. There, like I said, is no right answer. Nobody's list is going to be perfect. This is not going to be something that everybody's going to agree on. So do not kill me too hard in the comments if you're going to leave one. Ben, you already know, it's up for discussion for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
But,
I agree.
Ben does not know my top 15 list. I disclosed tiny little information about it. But yes. And to be honest, man, I'm considering a change after our brief conversation, but we'll get there. So without further ado, here is my list. Number 1, Justin Jefferson. I'm going to keep the suspense out the window here because, it should be. Tyreek Hill at 2.
Yep.
Jamar Chase at 3.
Yep.
I would say 3B is CD Lamb, but I put him at 4 just because I really like CD Lamb. Number 5 is AJ.
With you thus far.
Yeah. Number 5 is AJ Brown. Number 6 is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Number 7 is Puka Nacua. Number 8 is AJ Brown. Wait, did I put him on?
You had AJ Brown at 5.
Dude, nice. So I can fit in. All right, hold on a minute. I apologize.
Oh God.
I could fit him in. Sweet. All right, cool. Totally spelled his name wrong, but nobody cares because you can't see. Anyways, we'll get there. So I'm sorry. AJ Brown is at number 5. Amon-Ra St. Brown at 6. Puka Nacua at 7. DJ Moore at 8. Keenan Allen at 9. Brandon Ayuk at 10. Stephon Diggs at 11.
Hold on. Ayuk and then Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Then who else?
Nico Collins at 12.
Wow.
Love Nico Collins, man. Mike Evans at 13.
Okay.
Amari Cooper at 14.
Oh, God.
Devontae Adams at 15.
Okay. So let me get this right. JJ, Tyreek, Jamar, CD Lamb, AJ Brown, Sun God, Puka. DJ Moore, fine. If you want to put DJ Moore that high, you're a Bears fan. The issue comes in with the next guy. Keenan Allen being that high, but we'll get to that. Keenan Allen, Brandon Ayuk, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Mike Evans, Coop, and Devontae.
Let me just say this.
Did I miss anyone?
No, you're good. But let me just preface this before you go on your tangent. Keenan Allen deserves to be on this list. Whether he deserves to be that high is up for debate, but he deserves to be on this list. That's my point. That's where I'll leave.
Okay, so there are 2 guys like off the bat that I think should have probably been on this list over Keenan Allen. And this is my opinion. We'll go over what my list looks like next week, guys. Over Keenan, I think over Stephon Diggs. Honestly, over Nico Collins, and then I can make the argument for Coop as well. For those who don't know who those are, I think both Garrett Wilson and Cooper Kupp are better than those guys I had listed. Without a doubt, if I'm a GM, I would rather take Garrett Wilson and Cooper Kupp over Keenan Allen, over Nico Collins, and over Stephon Diggs at this point in his career. The other issue I have with this list is at 15. I mean, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. For those who are listening, we got 18 of you guys live listening right now. Put this in the chat. Do y'all think right now, because this was the debate that we had before this podcast, so I'm happy that you were able to get them in. Who is the better wide receiver? Me and Ryan had this debate, and I'd love to see what people think. Keenan Allen or Devontae Adams? I think I had told him it's one of the most asinine takes I have ever heard in my time. I don't want to say take, because you believe, like, you full-heartedly believe this, and the word take kind of implies that you don't. One of the most crazy opinions that I have ever heard is that Keenan Allen is a better wide receiver than Devontae Adams. I think he's younger and pretty much does everything better than Keenan Allen does, but I'm glad that you were able to get him on this list. But then again, the other two is Garrett Wilson and Cooper Kupp. I'd rather have Cooper Kupp than Keenan Allen as well. I mean, if we're gonna do, both of these guys are injury prone guys that at any point are gonna get hurt. And again, Cooper Kupp has a significantly higher peak than what Keenan Allen has. I mean, Cooper Kupp throughout what was it, 2021, won the Triple Crown. So most catches, most touchdowns, and most yards.
Yeah.
There's not many wide receivers that have done that. And then again, you talk about the main issues with both of these guys is their inability to stay healthy. So I think Cooper Kupp deserved to also be on that list. Garrett Wilson is on the edge. Garrett Wilson's one of those guys that you're not going to see a big fuss out of me just yet. He's still a young, unproven guy. It's fine. I'm not going to be too, disgruntled that Mike Evans made it over, and Mike Evans is a consistent 1,000-yard wide receiver and whatnot. But again, Keenan Allen being that high, Devontae Adams being that low, and then Kupp being off the list is are my big issues with it. But again, let us know in the comments what y'all think about Ryan's list. Ryan, what do you have to say about Keenan Allen being that high?
I just want to say, I ranked this in terms of I need a touchdown on this play. Who would I rather get the ball to? And I'll be honest with you, man. Yeah. And I will say, maybe I put Nico Collins a little high. He's very young. So that's maybe the one guy that Puka in the top. I mean, number 7 for Puka might be a little high too, but dude showed me a lot.
Puka's number 7 for Puka's a little high, but he deserves to be he definitely deserves to
on
be
this
on
list.
this list. You're not gonna you're not gonna get much pushback from me. I mean, I think he deserves to be on that list.
So I mean, let me know what you guys think, but I think that if I need a touchdown and all of these guys are available, obviously Justin Jefferson's the number 1 guy that you want, right? But
well, if I need a touchdown on any given play, to be honest, if I have one play to do it, it's going to be Tyreek Hill of all the guys. I just think he has the biggest explode, the most I'm just going to beat you. I think he just has the best trump card of any.
I like CeeDee Lamb, man.
I'll be honest, you won't hear me. I mean, it sucks that CeeDee Lamb plays for the Cowboys, but I mean, there's
Dude's
always
good,
that
man.
1 or 2 players that are on your opposing team that you're gosh, I hate the Cowboys or I hate this opposing team, but I really love this player, and CeeDee Lamb's that
was
guy
Aaron Jones for me. I really do like Aaron Jones, but I hate to play against him. You know what I mean? And so now it's it's an in-division thing too, to where he's going to the Vikings. But Justin Jefferson's one of those guys. I love the guy. Hate to play against him. So when he talks about a contract extension and the unwillingness to sign there right now, as of today, it's
you're happy.
I love that, dude. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So
I think Reek has the best trump card of anyone. So if it's winning on any given play, I need a touchdown, it would be Tyreek Hill for me, just because of the trump card that he has and his speed. The way I'm gonna rank it, guys, is if I had going into next season, one season, I'm not talking about the whole career. I just need one season for them. Everything else being the same, quarterback the same, so on and so forth. Who am I going to pick? That's how I'm going to rank my top 15. Because you even, again, not to harp on it too much, but I mean, you look at the quarterback play even between Keenan Allen and Devontae Adams. I mean, Aiden O'Connell and Herbo. So, but yes, so that's how I'm going to rank mine.
I will say this really quick.
Yeah.
Pro Football Network has Keenan Allen at 12 and DJ Moore at 15. Terry McLaurin somehow made the list at 14. Debo made it at 10. Was this the list? Maybe this was the list on Instagram that we sent each other. Okay, well, I'm just gonna not look at that anymore because that was just
it was a trash list. It was a pretty bad list. So I guess the only other question I had with so just looking at this and like obviously it's hard to make like these grandiose statements because especially like the 13, 14, 15 guys are so similarly and closely ranked to like 16, 17, 18. So it's like it is always really, really hard to pick like those guys that are going to sneak in there because it could be, some number of so many of them at that point. But are you then? And I don't want to like hamstring you into making this grandiose statement. But are you saying you would rather have Nico Collins than Garrett Wilson?
It's tough. You know what I mean? Like
That's why I prefaced all of that. Like it's again, I don't want to like force you to be like, I'm not saying that like it was just a question.
Going off of last year, I will say
and that's where it gets really hard because Garrett Wilson had a Walmart employee throwing him the football.
Exactly. Yeah. It's tough. I'm gonna leave that one be right now and just not answer it and plead the fifth. But it's another return of one of our segments that we haven't done in 2 weeks. So here we go.
It's time for America's favorite game, Weddle.
Very excited for this one. So what? Okay, I'm sorry. I think Weddle is not allowing me to play because I have an ad blocker on. Oh, nope. There we go. Okay.
Oh,
I was like, this is next level petty crap. All right. There we go. Now sorry. I want to turn on my ad blocker before we start because it just gets obnoxious and it still didn't work, but it's fine. Okay. It's not bad, but here we go. Okay. Ben.
Oh, okay. Really quick. I love this line. So it was a conversation that we had before the draft, like why the first overall team takes like so long to like get the pick in. Like it's like frustrating because you have like the entire, couple months to decide and it should be like really quick. But a quote that had come out today when Ryan Poles talking to Caleb Williams, he said talking about the NFL, they told me to hold the pick for 5 minutes. I told everyone I've been holding it for months.
Yeah, he said I've been holding it for a month. Caleb responded 5 months. He's like, I've been waiting 5 months. So
exactly. I thought it was fun.
If you guys are Bears fans, tune into 1920 Football Drive. It's a 38-minute special that they released today, a couple hours ago, and it covers the scouting process, starting with like the Senior Bowl to the scouting combine, all the way to top 30 visits, and then draft day, bringing these guys in. It's like basically Hard Knocks for the Bears, but they put it out themselves to make sure that they are cool with it. So I would recommend it for sure if anybody has never looked at that before. But if you're a Bears fan, 9 times out of 10 you're probably going to know what I'm talking about. But this is just it was pretty awesome to see that. And if you guys want something else too out of that video, watch for Ryan Poles' reaction during the Falcons pick, because he in the moments leading up to the Bears as well, because he was doing just what everybody else was and
hoping
predicting
that Romadudze was gonna fall.
he thought that the Giants were gonna pick Rome. He said, I have a gut feeling that Rome's gonna go to the Giants. And then they said, I think Eberflus goes, no, it's gonna be Neighbors. And then the next thing they cut to is like, the picks in, they're going Neighbors. Let's, prepare. So
there you go.
It's funny though. Let me just speak just briefly on it.
Yeah.
They did, or Poles was talking just as I was in the Airbnb when we went to the draft. I was like, I remember strictly saying, the Chargers, if they go alt, like I understand, but like this would be huge. And then they go alt, and then I was like, this basically is decided by the Giants. We could get Odunze. This is decided by the Giants. This is huge. They go Neighbors, and I'm like, this is crazy. We have a shot. And then, Latham goes to the Titans, and then Penix. If you want, spoiler alert, I don't care anymore. I'm not going to gatekeep it anymore. If you guys remember the Justin Jefferson reaction that the Vikings had when the Eagles passed up on Jefferson. Sorry to kind of bring that up again.
It's okay. We have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith now.
It was the same exact reaction for the Bears when the Falcons picked Penix. So crazy. But anyways, let's go ahead. I'm going to start us off.
Yes.
With a top 15 wide receiver, Keenan Allen. Okay, great. Awesome.
What I would
awesome.
agree.
All right.
So,
you go ahead.
You didn't give me anything. Young player, short, so probably a running back in the AFC, Isaiah Pacheco.
Okay. Wow.
There you go, I guess.
Dude,
okay.
That's the second time you've got it on hard, or not hard, but like on the second guess. It's crazy.
Yeah, there you go.
Just in case.
Okay. Defensive, older player. Well, not super old, just not a young player. In the AFC. Oh, I'd rather prefer it being the NFC. That's a gosh darn shame. DeForest Buckner.
Buckner. All right, so it's an AFC South guy. A little up there in age.
It's not a D lineman. Duh.
AFC South.
That's the division that we're doing right now.
Not Hunter, but it's a
okay. So older guy, defensive player on the Texans. I'm running through like their defense, and it's just Steven me type in Stevens. Does he not play for them anymore? Okay, I was thinking of Steven Means, but that's not it. Type in Means. He's a cornerback. It's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, he's not on there, I guess. He played for the Texans last year. He was a quarterback. I don't know. My guess would have been Steven Means. I'm trying to think who the other safety is besides Petrie. Desmond King, maybe? But Desmond King's kind of... Oh!
There's a DB.
I think it's Steven Means. It's going to drive me wild.
How do you spell his name? I'm going to Google it just to see spelling, but I'm not going to take it from you. I promise.
Oh, you're fine. Maybe it's not. No, Steven Means. Oh, no, it's not. Steven Means. Oh, my gosh. It's going to drive me crazy. I know. It's going to drive me crazy because he's a former Eagles cornerback. It's Steven something. Oh, it's going to drive me crazy.
God, it's not him, then.
Oh, it's going to drive me insane. It's Steven something.
I don't really... The problem is I can't think of their defensive backs.
It's going to drive me... It's Steven something. It's not Steven Means. I don't know why I was thinking Steven Means, by the way.
Steven Sims?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
That would have been really cool, though. I don't even know who Steven Sims is.
Yeah. I don't know.
Cool.
I'm gonna throw in the white flag here for me.
No, it's gonna be so. It's gonna drive me insane. It's gonna drive me insane. It's gonna be the Eagles cornerback who played for the Eagles. Who's like on the Steelers, went to the Eagles, and then went to the. I don't know why I was thinking Steven Means. That's odd. I'm trying to think of maybe like who their secondary safety is, because they have Jalen Petrie. Dude, I don't know. There's not anyone old on their team. Oh, do you know who it is? Can you help me out here? Like, I'm throwing the flag here. It's gonna be a wash, but like, can you figure out who it is and maybe help me out?
Yeah. I think that you can get it, honestly. I really do, looking at it. Let's see. Okay. How much help do you want? I mean, do we get a point for it? If I'm
No,
helping
I'm
out?
throwing in. I'm
Okay. So this
I'm
is just
throwing
for
in
your
the
own
flag.
personal thing.
This
Okay,
is
he went
just-
to
this is-
Northern Illinois, and he was in the 2014 draft.
Northern Illinois. There's like no guys that have come out of Northern Illinois.
He played majority of his career with the 49ers, and his
Oh,
first
it's
season
Jimmy
with the
Ward.
Texans.
It's Jimmy Ward.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go insane. Hold on. I'm gonna figure out who this Eagles corner is now, though. It's not Steven. I don't know. Steven Means was an Eagle, but I'm. Oh, this is gonna drive me insane. Eagles corner 2022, maybe. No, that 2021, maybe. Guys, this is gonna drive me insane because this is like I should know who this corner. Steven Nelson is who I was thinking of, but he's also like not on their roster anymore. But like
Yeah.
Steven Nelson is who I was like. It was gonna drive me insane if I didn't figure out who it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No, you're good.
no point.
Well,
Mhm.
let's wrap this up. I just want to say thank you
Yes.
to everybody that tuned in. Just because we did not put out anything yesterday saying that we were going to delay it like we normally do. If we were to delay it. So I apologize because that's on my behalf for not saying anything. That was my decision to delay and everything. It was my idea. But I will say I was overly exhausted. I mean, crazy
Amen to that,
exhausted.
brother.
So, and to that point, I really do think that, Ben was probably on the same exact page. So thank you guys for giving us a little bit of a break there. To everybody that's watching, I really do appreciate everybody though. If you could slide us a follow, if you haven't already, we would greatly
Yes.
appreciate it. If not, hope to see you guys at least next week when we go ahead and preview the Texans and the Titans. I'm looking forward to that because I might be a little bit higher on the Titans than most people, but they're another one of those teams where the defense is a little sketchy. But the Texans, man, that one's going to be a fun team because now it's time to say, like, hey, they're not going to win every game, but, like, they're going to be good. So, but, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm not going to wrap this up just yet, but I just want to say because I did not thank them last week, I want to make sure that I do it this week. So I want to thank Regional Radio Sports Network, Uppercuts Grooming, and Spotify for Podcasters for helping us grow as a podcast. But Ben, any closing comments?
No. Again, just stick with us, guys. As you know, as the off season goes, we're gonna keep on pumping out content, even though there's not much football news going on. Again, OTAs have started. Most likely, your team has at least done a little bit of that. But yeah, just stick with us throughout the off season. We're gonna continue pumping out content, and yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, we will see you guys next week. Hope to see you guys there.